Dũng nó đuổi à. Biết rồi, từ sau chúng ta.
Tối nhà quân phát nghiêm tay phải quay chào. Rất vô kỳ trở về vị trí hành lễ. Liên quân trái phải quay. Liên quân phát. Liên quân tàng.
Counter march! Head! 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 Color guard! Hilt! Present! Colors!
Ladies and gentlemen, please join musicians second in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts
retire the colors.
Mark time! Turn! Head! Head!
Mr. Scott McGaw.
Cảm ơn tập thể chiến sĩ Việt Nam Cộng Hòa và lực lượng.
Good afternoon. This is audience participation. Are we clear now? Crystal? All right, much better. It's my real privilege and Midway's honor to welcome you all aboard. For some of us, it's remarkable to think that it's been 5 years since we first did this, and it's so rewarding to see so many familiar faces here on the flight deck today. For those who may not be aware, we had 2 former USS Midway sailors, Elroy Weens and Marty Fitzgerald, raise the flag, the American flag, and it was a real honor to see them up there on the catwalk. Midway is all about preserving the legacy of all those who serve our country in uniform, both here and abroad, the legacy of those who defend American freedoms and create freedoms around the world. And that truly is what this event is all about today. You all make this event possible. Many of you have created the plan for this event, and we're going to be forever grateful to you for that. And I hope you notice the 58,300 ribbons, remembrance ribbons that are ringing this flight deck. San Diegans volunteered their time to make sure they were all tied before you arrived today. They did it in less than 2 weeks, 17 miles of ribbon. And I'm going to digress for 10 seconds from the agenda. Roxanne has been introduced as a co-chair. This event would not be possible without her, but equally important is our assistant marketing director. Where is she? Vanessa Ruiz, the other co-chair of today. Vanessa, stand up and please take a bow. Or curtsy. There you go. Good girl.
Một biến cố lớn nhất trong lịch sử cận đại của Việt Nam, lần đầu tiên trong hơn 4.000 năm lịch sử, những người con Việt đã phải ra đi hy sinh và đánh đổi tất cả vì lý tưởng tự do. Buổi lễ tưởng niệm đánh dấu 40 năm từ khi chúng ta trở thành những người Việt tị nạn cộng sản. Đại diện cho ban tổ chức, chúng tôi xin trân trọng gửi lời chào đến quý bậc trưởng thượng và toàn thể quý đồng hương. Chúng tôi vô cùng vinh dự được đón tiếp quý vị tại đây hôm nay.
We're also very gratified to acknowledge several local way to establish either a certificate of appreciation for the 40th commemoration of Operation Frequent Wind, or declare Operation Frequent Wind Day here in San Diego. We have with us Jason Bergovich from Congressman Scott Peters' office. Jason, please stand and wave. Congressman Peters has in fact designated this Operation Frequent Wind Commemoration Day. Supervisor Greg Cox, you may remember from last time, presented a proclamation. He wasn't able to attend today, but the county has designated this Operation Frequent Day. And finally, George Anthony from Mayor Faulkner's office. I don't know, George, if you're here. You were going to try to get here. I haven't seen you. Mayor Kevin Faulkner has also designated from the city of San Diego this being Operation Frequent Wind Day. So believe me, all of San Diego from here to Washington, D.C. salutes you and welcomes you.
Và đại diện cho quần cam, chúng tôi thấy có bà nghị viên Diana Carey, có ông Phát Bùi và vợ của ông bà Mai Lương. Ông cũng là Nguyễn chánh luật sự quản lý hồ sơ của quần cam. Và bà Janet Nguyễn, văn phòng của thượng nghị sĩ Janet Nguyễn, tuy bà không có mặt nhưng bà cũng có gửi tấm bằng tưởng lục đến cho ban tổ chức. Ngoài ra chúng tôi có đại diện của văn phòng bà dân biểu liên bang Sanchez, Loretta Sanchez, Carlos và cô Điệp Nguyễn. Thank you.
We come to a part of the ceremony that is perhaps sad for some, certainly reflective, but it's something we do really cherish here aboard Midway on the rare occasions that we do it, and that's the presentation of remembrance wreaths over the side, biodegradable wreaths. And we're about to do that now. So please take just a moment and reflect on the 58,300 American lives that were lost in Vietnam, the ultimate sacrifice. The 260,000 members of the South Vietnamese military forces, souls, they joined them as well. We wanted to make sure that this time around we commemorated not just freedom, but sacrifice as well. That's why San Diegans tied the ribbons. That's why we worked for more than 6 months to bring the Vietnam Wall, the replica, here on the bow, and for the first time be open 24 hours a day, so veterans from every military can come visit, perhaps in the dark of night, the only time they are comfortable doing so. A very special time. It is something that we value very highly, and in just a moment we will present 2 wreaths.
Thưa quý vị, và đặt vòng hoa để tưởng niệm 58.000 chiến sĩ Mỹ đã hy sinh trong cuộc chiến Việt Nam, cũng như 260.000 chiến sĩ của quân lực Việt Nam Cộng Hòa, và bao nhiêu người khác đã hy sinh vì hai chữ tự do. Và không những để ghi ơn, chúng ta còn phải tưởng nhớ, vì chúng ta không muốn những hy sinh của các vị anh hùng đó đã hy sinh, chúng ta không muốn quên đi cái sự hy sinh cao cả của các vị anh hùng.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise in order to present the wreath.
Dạ, và để đặt vòng hoa tưởng niệm, xin mời lực lượng chiến sĩ Việt Nam Cộng hòa San Diego và tập thể chiến sĩ Việt Nam Cộng hòa hải ngoại.
Gentlemen, on behalf of a grateful nation, please present the wreath. Thank you. If you would please direct your attention to your left and behind you, way out on the forward angle, you'll see a riser. We have 2 wreaths, one. Gentlemen, on behalf of a grateful nation, please present the wreath.
Anh lấy ngoài đi, em lấy cái này cho.
Thank you.
Và để tưởng nhớ và ghi ơn 260.000 chiến sĩ đã hy sinh trong cuộc chiến, xin quý vị tại vòng hoa tưởng niệm.
Vâng, kính thưa quý vị, như quý vị vừa mới nhận thấy là chúng ta vừa mới thả xuống 2 vòng hoa. Vòng hoa thứ nhất là tượng trưng cho 58.000 chiến sĩ Hoa Kỳ, và cái vòng hoa thứ nhì là để tưởng niệm cho hơn 260.000 binh sĩ Việt Nam Cộng Hòa đã bỏ mình vì Tổ quốc, cho chứng tự do để bảo vệ cho đất nước của chúng ta, và đã được thả xuống biển San Diego như là một cái symbol, là một cái biểu hiệu để dâng lên, để tưởng nhớ đến những người đã khuất mà đã hy sinh cho tự do của đồng bào của chúng ta.
Could get a few ops with those guys so they'd learn how to fly off and on a carrier, but it was not to be. And I told Byrne to suck it up. He wasn't going to get any practice out of those guys. And if anything wrong, it was always his fault. But, you know, that's the way of the world. We got out and we started the evacuation. And it was started about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we launched those 10 HH-53s, and they went to the beach. But en route, there were a whole bunch of Hueys coming back. And Huey is that little guy sitting right behind you. And if you can imagine, looking at the size of that Huey, that as many as 50 people got off of those Hueys. And of course, as I look around and we've all grown a bit, I don't think we can get 10 in there now. But we're working on it. And so these guys came and they were going, and into the middle of the night we were operating. Just remember, under those conditions, he doesn't get any sleep. I don't get any sleep. And so, you know, my wife will tell you that when I don't get any sleep, I get real crabby. So Vern will have to forgive me for all the bad things I said to him. But he said some bad things back to me, so he got even. It's okay. But in any case, I'm going to let Vern talk to you, because this little airplane came out and started circling, and he dropped a couple of notes on deck. They went over the side. The last one, the fourth one, hit the crash truck and stayed on board. I didn't need a note. I knew what that young lad wanted. He wanted a place to land. I had an admiral on board said, "Tell him to ditch." I'm looking at this little airplane, and I could see the pilot in my glasses. I could see his wife in behind, and I could see that she was holding a child. And then there was one little head that you could see that was sticking out of the baggage compartment. And I said, well, there are at least 4 souls on board, and there is no way that pilot is going to ditch that airplane. So my thoughts were either I gave him a place to land, or he was going to crash it on board. And Vern will tell you the flight deck was a mess. I mean, it was with hundreds of people, equipment, helos, and I don't know, if those of you who look behind you, there's a little red and white stripe along the flight deck. That's called the foul line. So everything has to be over the foul line in order to have permission for an airplane to land. So I told Vern, we're going to make a ready deck. Do you know what his answer was? You gotta be shitting me. And I said, Vern, you're gonna make a ready deck, and I'm gonna give you some help. I got on the ship's general announcing system, and I asked all of the people who weren't actually on watch to report to the flight deck to give Vern some assistance. So Vern had a 3,000-man wrecking crew to make it happen. So let him tell you what actually happened.
I looked at the flight deck. The skipper had just told me we're taking aboard this little bird dog aircraft. I whined. I said, Skipper, look at the flight deck. It was clobbered with people and helicopters. He said, Vern, make it so. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My 3,000-man flight deck crew went to work. We cleared all the people and the helicopters on this side of the foul line. Skipper turned into the wind. We got 43 knots of wind right down the angle deck. I shined a green light at the little bird dog. Steady green light, meaning you're cleared to land. He made a couple of low passes looking at the deck. Then his third pass, he touched down right where the Phantom is, back there on the foul line. He bounced once, rolled up this deck, and he was stopped right there, 100 feet short of the end of the angle deck. I had 150 men standing on the end of the angle deck, ready to grab him before he went over the side. The major and his wife crawled out of the cockpit. She's holding this little baby in her arms, and there are 4 little toddlers standing next to him. My flight deck crew is surrounding him, just whooping and hollering for joy, because they knew they had just saved their lives. The last thing about this evolution, that was the most dangerous 30 hours on this flight deck that I'd ever seen on a carrier. Many of the 50 Hueys that landed on our flight deck and the 853s many times were running out of fuel. If one of those helicopters had run out of fuel and crashed on this flight deck, any number of people would have lost their lives. I'm here to tell you today, we did not lose one person. We had little kids running all over this flight deck and the hangar deck. Not one little kid went over the side. That in itself was a miracle. I may get fired for saying this, but I mean it with all my heart. God was with us that day. He was watching out for us.
Vern didn't tell you that we have an expression. It said, God takes care of fools and aviators, and we both qualify. What he also didn't tell you was after we turned into the wind and got a ready deck, 8 more Hueys clobbered the deck before we could land the bird dog. And his question was, what do we do now? I said, same thing we did with the rest of them. Over the side they go. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be here. This is a wonderful occasion, and there's a lot of healing going on amongst both communities. And thank you very much for participating. I'm just damn glad I'm still alive to be here. Thank you very much.
Our next guest speaker is a great friend and supporter of Midway, Peter Pham, president of the Vietnamese Federation of San Diego. They helped us so much 5 years ago in ways that I didn't even know back then. It was only recently that I discovered both then and now the thousands of American and South Vietnamese flags you're holding in your hands. They literally glued and assembled till 2 and 3 in the morning so you could have them to be part of the ceremony today. They've done it both times. Thank you so much to the Vietnamese Federation.
Xin trân trọng giới thiệu đến quý vị anh Peter Lim Pham của Hiệp hội Người Việt San Diego, là một tổ chức thiện nguyện để phục vụ cho cộng đồng người Việt tại San Diego trong nhiều lĩnh vực văn hóa, xã hội. Hơn 3 thập niên qua, kể từ năm 1984, đại diện cho hơn 30 hội đoàn quân nhân cán chính tại San Diego. Và thưa quý vị, tất cả các lá cờ mà quý vị đang cầm tay đó là nhờ Hiệp hội Người Việt San Diego đã giúp dán trong nhiều đêm. Cảm ơn anh Peter.
Thank you.
I would like to join President Peter Pham of the Vietnamese Federation to express our deepest gratitude to Admiral Chambers and Commander Jumper for your leadership and devotion and most heroic acts in steering Operation Frequent Wind and saving thousands of lives out of Vietnam in 1975. Thank you. We have a couple of plaques for you to commemorate this event and express our gratitude to you. Thank you. And now a few remarks from Mr. Peter Pham, Chủ tịch Phạm Thanh Liêm.
Khi đến tháng 4 là toàn thể người Việt quốc gia tị nạn cộng sản trên toàn thế giới đều náo lòng tưởng nhớ tới ngày 30 tháng 4 năm 1975. Ngày Cộng sản miền Bắc xâm chiếm toàn cõi miền Nam Việt Nam. Đã 40 năm qua, hình ảnh của cuộc di tản có kế hoạch do chính phủ Hoa Kỳ tổ chức lúc nào cũng đem lại một ký ức đau buồn khi nhớ lại. Hàng chục ngàn người đã ra khơi để được các tàu thuộc hạm đội Mỹ đón vớt. Trong đó có hàng không mẫu hạm Midway. Hôm nay chúng ta trở lại đây trên con tàu đã đón nhận chúng ta trên đường đi tìm tự do. Chúng ta không thể quên được nhiệt tình của thủy thủ đoàn và nhất là chịu ơn của hạm trưởng đề đốc Larry Chamber và phụ tá chỉ huy trưởng Von Chamber đã nhận trách nhiệm vượt quá quyền hạn của mình để làm sao đón rước đầy đủ một cách chu toàn số người được đưa lên tàu. Chúng tôi cảm kích chính sách nhân đạo của chính quyền Hoa Kỳ đã giúp cho làn sóng người tị nạn Việt Nam hội nhập vào xã hội mới và nhất là giúp thế hệ con cháu người Việt có cơ hội thành công trên đất Mỹ và đóng góp tích cực vào xã hội. Chúng tôi cảm kích chính sách bảo vệ dân chủ tự do của chính phủ Hoa Kỳ đã đưa quân qua chiến đấu chống lại làn xâm lăng đỏ. Xin vinh danh các chính phủ Hoa Kỳ, chiến sĩ Hoa Kỳ đã từng chiến đấu sát cánh với các chiến sĩ Việt Nam Cộng Hòa, và xin tri ân các chiến sĩ đã bỏ mình hy sinh để bảo vệ chính nghĩa tự do. Chúng tôi mong rằng chính sách bảo vệ dân chủ, tự do và nhân quyền của chính phủ Hoa Kỳ luôn được vững bền, để cho người Việt ở hải ngoại và đồng bào trong nước đang sống trong sự áp bức của chính sách bảo tàng với chế độ cộng sản vùng lên lật đổ bạo quyền cộng sản để thay thế bằng một chế độ dân chủ tôn trọng quyền làm người của dân tộc. Ngày đó sẽ tới rất gần trong tương lai, khi các thế hệ trẻ ở hải ngoại và trong nước có cơ hội đóng góp tích cực vào công cuộc cách mạng theo trào lưu bùng dậy bảo vệ nhân quyền. Xin kính chào quý vị. Ladies and gentlemen, on April 30th, 1975, an eerie calmness settled over South Vietnam following the withdrawal of its American ally and taken over by the Vietnamese communists. As an aftermath, waves of Vietnamese fled their native land to the United States and other countries of the free world. To many Vietnamese, April 30th is their national doomsday. It was 40 years ago that the rescue mission known as Operation Frequent Wind took place. Upon joining Task Force 76, this attack carriers CVA-41, the USS Midway, along with USS Hancock, play a pivotal role in receiving refugees from Saigon before its eventual fall. Through this action and other last year, those refugees and immigrants were afforded the opportunity to have new lives and opportunities in the United States. We are especially proud of the success these refugees have achieved in establishing new lives for themselves and their families. April 30th also marks a special time of the year when we gather as Vietnamese Americans to thank the veterans who actively support the Vietnamese people in the war against the communist aggression. More specifically, we express our deepest gratitude to the families of Americans who fought alongside with Vietnamese people and sacrificed their lives protecting freedom on a land far away. Today, we take time to remember and honor those who have sacrificed their lives to the cause and to honor others whose effort and dedication have kept alive in Vietnam the ideals of freedom. Today, we remind all Vietnamese to remain steadfast in realizing their mission as Vietnamese nationalists and patriots. We continue to hope that those who remain in Vietnam can someday live under the principle of freedoms and democracy, much like those in the United States. Thank you very much.
We are in for a treat. 40 years ago, almost today, a 15-year-old girl landed on this flight deck. Today, she still works full-time and yet finds the time in the evenings and on weekends to give back to her new country as a docent right here on Midway. The stories that she shares with the young people who come to this museum, 1.2 million people from around the world visit Midway. We're setting new attendance records every year. Last year, 1 in 8 visitors were from China and throughout Asia, an international destination. And it's because of people like Stephanie Dinh, a frequent refugee who brings this museum to life, that has made it so popular. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Midway docent Stephanie Dinh.
Kính chào quý vị. Tôi tên là Đinh Thị Đoan Trang. 40 năm trời vừa qua, gia đình tôi vượt biên từ Việt Nam qua Mỹ. Cái thuyền Uss Midway chở gia đình tôi từ Mỹ, từ Việt Nam qua Mỹ. 40 năm vừa qua, trên cái chỗ này, gia đình tôi xuống cái helicopter gần chỗ này, trên chỗ này họ cho gia đình tôi một chỗ để ngủ. USS Midway xin lỗi. Từ USS Midway, gia đình tôi đi tới Subic Bay, Philippines. Từ Subic Bay, Philippines, 3 tuần sau, chúng tôi tới ở Monmouth, Illinois. Population 1.100 người. Hello everybody. My name is Stephanie Dinh. My American name is Stephanie Dinh. And my Vietnamese name is Đinh Thị Đoan Trang. In April 1975, my family and I evacuated from Saigon, Vietnam, to America. And we were taken to the U.S. warship at sea, the USS Midway. The flight deck where I am standing here today is the same place, same flight deck where my family and I stepped off of USS military helicopter.
She's pretty emotional.
With other Vietnamese evacuees 40 years ago.
Commander, how are you, sir? Commander.
I was a young teenager at that time. Tôi mới có 15 tuổi thôi. I did not know then what the name of the operation was, but since I learned it was called Operation FREEVN. My voyage to America. The memory of that day is still vivid in my mind and in my heart. What happened on that day made it both a sad and amazing day that turned my life around 360 degrees. I thought about it and decided I should record what have happened because I don't want to forget everything once I get old and senile. I am now a USS Midway Museum volunteer. It is my way of paying back in a small way for what the ship did for my family. And I thank you very much for allowing me to share my story on this special day to commemorate our first and frequent.
And stay standing. Would any USS Midway sailors or officers from 1975, Operation FREEVN, please stand and join them? We're not sure we're burned. There, look at there. We've got a bunch of them over here on your right. And finally, would every veteran of South Vietnam and the United States and any active duty please stand and join everyone and accept our thanks.
Thank you for your service.
You know, normally we'd wrap it up with some highfalutin comments that would be appropriate, but you've heard it all. You've learned, I've certainly learned that it's, you know, the heroism starts with individual sailors, you know, that are anonymous, who go about their lives after rescuing you or others. So as my final comments, I'm going to yield the podium to the air boss of Midway in 1975, who has just a couple of quick comments and recognitions to make. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium one last time, Air Boss Vern Jumper.
Thank you so much, and this will be short. I'm here to pay tribute to two groups of people. Number one, I pay tribute to my wife, Rebecca, the best Navy wife in the world. And I pay tribute to all Navy wives. Number two, I pay tribute to a group of my men that were on the flight deck in 1975. And I'm going to name these guys off. ABH-1, First Class Petty Officer John Boomer Hackett. He was my Flight 2PO. He controlled the middle third of this flight deck. ABH-3 Greg Clemens, Crash Crew. Nickname Lunch Meat. ABH-2 Brian Baker. He was my tractor king. He ran all the tractors on the flight deck. Eric Massey was a Flight 2 Glacier. He chopped and changed airplanes right here in the middle of this flight deck. ABH-1 First Class Petty Officer Al McDonald. He was my leading petty officer on the bow. My Fly 1 Petty Officer. And I also pay tribute to my Executive Officer Larry Grimes. I understand he's here today with us. With that, ladies and gentlemen, our ceremony has concluded, and I thank you so much, and I'm so proud of our Vietnamese community. Thank you.
Vern and Larry, on behalf of the organizing committee and on behalf of the Vietnamese community, I would like to say thank you for your heroic actions.
Một màn trống do các em học sinh của trường trung học Westminster, đoàn trống Thiên Ân, với tựa đề là Đàn chim Việt, A Flock of Vietnamese Birds, sẽ được trình bày bởi đoàn trống Thiên Ân của trường trung học Westminster. Xin quý vị cho một tràng pháo tay.
Walking through the streets, sometimes with strangers in my town. Wait till April and I meet, wear my silken shirts and gowns. Karaoke I sing, bounce my life within. When I say I love to follow eastern winds, you think yellow, I say gold. It's the color of my real skin. I am young, but I am told that my history flows within. You think yellow, I say gold. Feel the currents of red river through my soul. You think yellow, I say gold. In Vietnamese, on my paper made of rice, I am shy in the begin, when a boy gives me the eye. Karaoke I sing, bounce my life within. When I say I love to follow eastern winds, you think yellow, I say gold. It's the color of my real skin. I am young, but I am told that my history flows within. You think yellow, I say gold. Feel the currents of red river through my soul. You think yellow, I say gold. Oh, red river, take me home. Feel the current through my soul. You think yellow, I say gold. It's the color of my real skin. I am young, but I am told that my history flows within. You think yellow, I say gold. Feel the currents of red river through my soul. You think yellow, I say gold. It's the color of my real skin. I am young, but I am told that my history flows within. You think yellow, I say gold. Feel the currents of red river through my soul.
The next number, we'd like to welcome back the Quan Họ Bắc Ninh group.
just wanted to say that it's really an honor to be here today. I was thrilled to be part of the organizing committee. And I want to just say a special thank you on behalf of the American veterans. My era is the Vietnam era, and I have friends and family and loved ones who did pay the ultimate sacrifice. And I wanted to thank the Vietnamese people. I go to many, many events, and you always honor your military service, and you always, always remember our American veterans. And for that, I want to say a really special thank you. It means so much to us. And the second thing I also wanted to say is I represent a huge portion of the Vietnamese community in the United States, and from the bottom of my heart, I am just so gratified at the contributions, the service, the dedication, and the resilience of the Vietnamese community. You have made us absolutely so enriched. You're a part of the fabric of America, and we thank you for that over and over and over. You should be very, very proud. So now, one of the things the committee felt very strongly about, and me especially, my dad was a World War II veteran, and I've always been connected to the military. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to say thank you to some of the Vietnamese former military who not only made contributions to the service, but also continue to make contributions to their communities. And so if I could have them, if they're still here, I hope if they could please come up. And helping me today are going to be councilmen from the city of Garden Grove, Pha Bui, and our wonderful Orange County Clerk Recorder Hugh Wynn, and they're going to be saying a few words to you in a moment. So the first person that we would like to honor for this, Su Chow, CAU. Nguyen Tan Du, Nguyen Phu Kong, Phan Dinh Quan, Phan Tan Nu,